Using the premise of an investigation into the murder of a wealthy businessman, Soylent Green presents a series of warnings concerning the future consequences of the deterioration of Earth's environment and ecosystem, especially on human society and the direction it may take in trying to cope with these consequences. Virtual exhaustion of natural resources combined with climate change and overpopulation have produced extreme pressure on living space, water and food supplies, issues concerning both employment and unemployment, where jobs are lost after just 2 days' absence, the introduction of voluntary euthanasia, and generalised poverty. With little chance of change or betterment, hope for the future is all but extinguished, leading to a lack of self-esteem, degradation and dehumanisation as all battle to survive. There is something of a gulf between the lifestyle of the wealthy few and the penury and misery of the masses. Private companies control power and the provision of food and water, with executives colluding with politicians to enjoy luxuries such as spacious apartments, complete with concubine, hot water, soap, traditional foodstuffs as opposed to tasteless nutrition bars, and even alcoholic beverages, as they put profit and personal advancement above humanity and principle. However, one executive named Simonson has discovered the drastic and morally repugnant lengths to which his food-producing company Soylent will go to maintain its share of this profitable market and, unhappy with the situation, is making waves. Simonson has discovered that as the ecosystems of the seas are failing, the farming of plankton used to produce Soylent Green is also failing, and so Soylent has turned to a more readily available but socially unacceptable source for its food supply. They treat and process dead bodies to provide their nutrition bars and, fearing public revulsion and rejection, they go to considerable lengths to ensure secrecy and security are maintained. Simonson, however, finds this disrespect and degradation hard to live with. He becomes introverted, shies away from sexual contact with his concubine Cheryl, goes to church and confides in a priest, on whom the news has an equally shocking effect, and he is even willing to accept his own assassination, as he understands the company's motives and priorities. But he may also be so disgusted with himself and the decaying and hopeless society to which he has contributed that he welcomes death as an escape. Considered a threat to the continued success and survival of the company, the board orders his assassination, and a policeman named Thorne is assigned to investigate. Thorne is a product of his time, and can usefully be compared to his academic professional partner, the elderly Saul Roth. Thorne displays acceptance, apathy, and a willingness to profit from his position, though his limited form of looting appears to be accepted as the norm in a time and place where each must do what he or she has to do to make life easier and survive. Yet there is a limit to Thorne's apparent apathy and cynicism. Simonson's murder evokes or rekindles his professionalism as he detects signs of conspiracy and indications that this is more than just an opportunist murder. He displays a determination to uncover truth and does not concede to threats. He is willing to use Cheryl sexually, but he develops some sympathy and compassion when he is drawn to see Cheryl and her fellow concubines, whose treatment may be viewed as embodying the exploitation of the many by the powerful few, as victims of abuse, and this leads to something of an awakening and a deepening of feelings. Saul Roth is an old man who is able to recall when times were better in his past, and he makes negative comparisons with his present, also inviting the audience to appreciate its present as opposed to this potential future. He is a man of education, taste and principle, and he is a warning to us all not to take social standards, humanity and the environment for granted, as things can slip very quickly in a time of change and given the right circumstances. This is emphasised at his funeral, when Thorne views images and hears sounds that inform him and remind us of the beauty and abundance of the Earth's resources, and how easily that might change. The storyline links environmental issues with social structures and outcomes dependent on corporate management and profit margins. It presents a clear warning not just about the consequences for society of plundering natural resources, but also of the plundering of the vast majority for the financial and social benefits of the tiny minority. All told, I find this an engaging and thought-provoking thriller which is flawed and lacks variety of tone. I felt that by and large characters were perhaps underdeveloped or underwritten, with the possible exception of Saul Roth, whose scenes are among the best in the film, as they convey drama, humour and tragedy. Essentially, this is a concept film in which the ideas to be conveyed are the true stars, and these ideas are certainly driven home, but at the expense of the potential alienation of the audience. The abject misery and dystopian lack of hope throughout, and especially at the end, may have been perceived as a wake-up call and warning by those involved in the production of this intriguing and provocative film, but they risk inducing in their audience the very apathy and sense of hopelessness portrayed in the film, especially when the film is populated by largely unsympathetic characters. Charlton Heston is engaging and provides a powerful presence, though, as suggested earlier, Thorne's evolution should have been better drawn if we are to have much sympathy for this often unpleasant character. Edward G. Robinson plays his relatively small but essential role to maximum effect, and produces a well-rounded performance in what was to be his final role. My thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it of some value.